So I can't believe I've got to the end of these interviews from the Chateau that I recorded in July last year, 2025, while I was doing my writing residency at the Chateau d'Orquevaux in France. This is the last of season 1 of Creative Momentum with Meg Dunley, and my friends, I thank you for coming along for the ride with me, where I explore the things about what inspires creatives and their processes and routines and wisdom. You've had 23 loads of wisdom so far. You've got another one today, and some more understanding of how these, another person, how they approach their creativity. I've got some really exciting things planned for the next season. There will be a little break between this last one and the next one. I'm going to take a few weeks off. But for now, let's just focus on today. So today I chat with Teylor Bonner. She's a photographer, filmmaker from Houston, Texas, and she also dabbles in clay sculpting, painting, writing, and jewellery making. She describes herself as a manifesting generator in human design, which means following bursts of energy and inspiration rather than forcing herself into the rigid structures. During our conversation, she shares how her creative process is based on energy and mood, sometimes completely changing direction from storyboards and scripts when something just feels right in the moment. She discusses her mindfulness-based routine that prepares her for those beautiful deep flow states where hours disappear. They are the most beautiful moments that all creatives know. And she talks about where she draws her inspiration from. I really hope you enjoy this episode. I love chatting with Teylor and getting to know her at the Chateau. And I will see you on the other side. Hi, Teylor.
Hi.
Let's just start by introducing yourself with your name and where you're from.
Okay. So my name is Teylor Bonner and I'm from Houston, Texas.
Excellent. And can you tell me a little bit about what your creative discipline is?
So I am mostly a photographer and a filmmaker, but I also do things like I dabble in like clay sculpting, but I'm not a sculptor, okay? But if I get an idea, I'm like, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna try it. I like to paint, but like, those follow along YouTube video situations. And then I enjoy writing. Writing is much more vulnerable for me, so I'm not really out there with it, but I'm working on that.
I love that.
And jewelry making.
Yeah, oh, beautiful.
I gotta show you, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that about you. That's cool. I love earrings.
Yeah.
Tell me, can you tell me a little bit about what your creative process is?
My creative process has always kind of been, I would prefer it to be more structured. It's not as structured as I'd like it to be. I am much more like, if you ever heard of like a mood reader, I'm kind of the same with art. So it might start off as one thing, and then when I get that like jolt of inspiration, it can completely change for me and go a different direction. So a lot of times, especially like in filmmaking, we'll have like our storyboards, you have your script and everything, but I've definitely done films where I'm feeding the lines to somebody and be like, we're just gonna go like this because this feels right compared to us sitting there and like creating a structure sometimes. So it's really based on like my energy and my mood. And if you have ever heard of human design, I'm a manifesting generator, which is literally about like when you get that burst of energy, you're supposed to follow that flow and go with that, and you end up with a better result versus trying to like force myself into a box or what I should do.
Yeah, I love that. And I'll make sure I put some links to human design stuff in this in the notes. Tell me, do you have a routine for your creativity?
I try to stick to a routine for my creativity. That routine consists of a lot of mindfulness. So I try to start my mornings off being like meditative, just doing some stretching, like water or like a specific tea of whatever I feel in that mood. And I'm trying to be more consistent with journaling. So I go through phases, but that's kind of like what I stick with. Even specific playlist too, like in the morning when I wake up, I would consider those to be my routine, so that when I know I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on a project today or whatever, the better my mood, and a good breakfast, like fruits and something that's hydrating, then I'm like, okay, this will help me. Because I am one of the people that, like, once I'm zoned in, I will go for hours and I won't eat. And I look outside and it's a whole nother day. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You're deep in the flow there.
I get, very locked in.
Yeah, so that's great that I actually talk with creators a lot about self-care, because that's so important, because we do get locked into that flow, and we forget to exercise, stretch, eat, drink, all those things. Tell me, where, who, or what do you get your creative inspiration from mostly?
I get my creative inspiration from my interactions with different people. So I would say between my family, my friends, even if sometimes it's not positive, a lot of times those things will influence. But a lot of my stuff is love-based, like whether that's loving my family or loving my friends or coming into connection with people, you know, like you get that warm feeling. Like I consider that to be like a love feeling. Anytime I feel that, that's something that really charges me up and gives me a lot of inspiration. I also get very inspired by artists that are more focused on authenticity, like being themselves versus sometimes, like in my experience being in the film world, there's a lot of people that are kind of I'm this kind of a filmmaker and I've done this and we're gonna do things this way because history says if you're gonna shoot a documentary, then the light has to be like this. And I'm like, but we're artists too, right? So like, why do we have to keep following the same guidelines that someone told us that that's what art is? And art to me is freedom. So when I get to be around other artists, like here at this residency, who are like, I'm creating for me, I'm doing what I wanna do, like that inspires me a lot. Just taking off the limitations.
I love that. I love that so much. Tell me, if you were to meet someone just at the beginning of their kind of creative journey, what pearl or pearls of wisdom would you want to share with them?
I would share that I feel that art is a very vulnerable process, and as scary as it may seem, the one thing that I remind myself of is people are going to judge you regardless, and you can never make everybody happy, and everyone isn't going to like your art. Art is subjective. So at the end of the day, make sure you're always creating for yourself and for your purpose and from your core, and try your best to block out like what people tell you art should be. Art's whatever you make it, and it's what you want it to be to express yourself.
I love that so much.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would want to share with other creatives who might be watching this?
Take a risk on yourself. Believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is. And give yourself the opportunity to shine and to be seen.
Perfect. Thank you. I really hope you enjoyed that interview with Teylor, and that beautiful little piece of wisdom that she shared about art being a vulnerable process, that, you know, it really resonates with me. I know it resonates with a lot of the people I work with. People are going to judge us either way, and we can't make everyone happy. So given that art and writing is subjective, we need to create for ourselves first and foremost. And when we do that, that permission that we get from that, that's when we create our most beautiful work. That beautiful advice of take a risk on yourself. It's kind of, you know, a similar kind of thing of, you know, we have to believe in ourselves, and so that's giving ourselves permission to make the thing that we want and to take a risk. When we do, we have that opportunity to shine and really be seen, and I can give you loads of other examples of creators who've done that, but, you know, listen back over all of these other interviews and you'll get a bit of an idea of that. Build your own creative momentum, because it means that you begin to trust yourself, following your energy and inspiration and your authentic voice. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the entire season. I loved listening back over these interviews as I've been putting them together over the last 24 weeks, believe it or not. If you're listening and it's still February, early February, and you need some time for your writing and you can get yourself to King Lake, I still have a couple of spots that I can open up for you, please just get in touch with me if that's something that is the right thing for you right now. And you know, enjoy this little break. I know I'm going to enjoy the little break. I'm actually did an interview today with someone who is super exciting. So I already have a bunch of people already lined up for season 2, which is called the home season. And make of that what you may. Until next season, keep building your own creative momentum. And thank you for listening to these episodes and to this little podcast. Thank you for your support to me. It means the absolute world. You know, it must be about 30 weeks ago, I took a risk on myself and decided to start doing these interviews and then putting them together into a podcast. And, you know, maybe it's like 2 of you out there listening. I love you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening and supporting. And, you know, just until next time, next season, Australian creative season, the home season. Thank you for listening. See you later.